Hello, everyone, and welcome. Um, I'm Brianna Kavanaugh, and today is our second official Financial Clarity Now call. Um, and I'm pretty delighted that you're here. So I want to wait and say this a little bit when there are more folks on the call, but we're doing Financial Clarity Now, and I'll just say it again. I was in a car accident like a week ago, and I'm having headaches, and so everything's just a little bit slow. So if you'll just be patient with me as we go through this process, that would be really great. So today, I always like to do like a little brief, like kind of overview of what we're up to, and we'll do a brief recap of a couple of our agreements. We'll do our body check-in, right? And and then today we're going to talk about making sure that you have your accountability buddy and your support. Hi, Jesse, because everybody needs accountability. I was saying hi to Jesse in part because he reminded me that we all need to make sure that we have accountability buddies. So hi, everybody. I'm glad that you're here. Yeah, I'm glad we're here. So before we do anything else, I'm going to just remind you to grab a pen and paper or a screen to type into. But I really like, for me, having a pen and paper so I can just write down things and be able to see folks is kind of how I would do it. And then grab a glass of something lovely. It's my beverage of choice. And anything else you need, it's lunchtime, so maybe you need a snack. And yeah, and then get someplace quiet and cozy. All right, so if you need anything, so I want you each to please today, check and make sure you're getting emails. We have gone through and made sure that everyone is getting emails, but I'm still getting emails from people being like, I'm not getting emails. So if you are not getting emails, or there's something that you're not in the Facebook group, will you please email us and make sure you tell me which email address, right, that you need something to go to, because it's possible that we're sending to one email address and then you're looking at another email address. So that's totally a thing. So make sure you tell me which email address we should send it to. And if you want us to add you to the Facebook group because you haven't done that yourself, it should be in the bottom of every single one of those emails. You can just click and then we'll approve you. Let me know. And if you want me to add you, make sure you send me a link with your your Facebook name, so that I know who I'm adding, because sometimes folks have different names on Facebook than they maybe are talking to me as. So we want to get the right folks. But just do reach out. I have an assistant, Peyton, who is, checking my email every day, or 4 days a week at least. And so there is someone who is responding to all of that. So, but the later you kind of wait, the more, time passes and the less we can leverage our time together. Okay. Before we even do our agreements, let's have our body check-in. So take a breath and close your eyes. And we're just going to slow way, 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 way down. And we're just going to feel. We're just going to feel all the things. So a body check-in is about stopping whatever you're doing, right? Just stop for a moment and just feel you. Especially those of us who are service providers, where a lot of our attention is on our clients or on other people. And this is just a way to gather up all of your attention and put it right back on yourself. And so often the first thing I notice is that I have some thoughts swirling around in there. And they're like, oh, blah, blah, thing and other thing. And, oh, it's not supposed to be like this. It's supposed to be like this other thing and thing. And just notice. Like today, let's see, what am I noticing today? Today I just notice, those of you who've been with me for a minute know that, transparency really is key to healing. And I was in a car accident, and so I've been having a headache since the car accident. And I notice that my thoughts are about a story that, if I have to slow down too much, I won't get everything done. It's been really brilliant for having me notice my stories around perfectionism. I know nobody here struggles with perfectionism, it's just me. But getting really, really clear about those stories. And it can be a little scary. So just notice what you're thinking. How it feels. And then maybe you drop into your next level. Maybe that's some feelings. Maybe that's sensation. Notice your butt on the chair, your feet on the floor. Take a breath. I notice I can feel my shoes on my feet. I notice I have a little, like a fire in my belly. And then I want to just take it a step deeper, which is to ground yourself. So just notice how you're feeling now. And the next thing is to really just drop roots into the ground as though your feet were the trunks of a tree, and they just grow roots right out of the bottom into the ground. And let those roots slip right down into the earth, through the concrete, through whatever else is down there, rocks, the pipes, dirt. Down through the water table, down, 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 down. And breathe. Just keep dropping down until you get to the point where the earth gets warm. And touch into that warmth, that energy. Heat is energy. And let that warmth touch you and come all the way back up your roots. Slowly. Just let it come back up. And when it comes all the way up, let it come up your feet and into your legs. And up your legs. Not just that earth energy up into your thighs and your sex. And let that grounded earth energy fill up the bowl of your pelvis. And rise up into your chest. And breathe. And let it flow over your shoulders and down into your arms and hands. And then up your neck and your head and out the top of your head and up into the sky to touch the stars. And when it touches the stars, let that star energy fall right back down into your body. And let that energy fall right down. Anything that you don't need, just dropping away. And you can be just you. Nothing is needed. We're just getting present to who we are. So welcome. Welcome. Take a breath and open your eyes when you're ready. Hi, y'all. Okay, so does anyone have a frame or a sensation? Again, a frame is just, naming one felt sensation. Does anyone have a sensation they want to share? Claudine. Great. Thank you. Oh, you muted yourself.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Thank you. The sensation is fullness.
Thank you.
The sensation of my belly felt so full and just abundance. I felt it all in my belly, how full and abundant it feels.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Christina, are you saying that you want to go next? No? Just my attention keeps coming to you? I think you should go next. I think it's time.
Okay. Well, actually, for me, I felt a lot of nervous energy.
What does that feel like?
I feel it kind of in my gut, like in my stomach. Just some tension and almost like really fast energy kind of radiating around me.
Yeah. Thank you. It's a beautiful frame. What I notice is when we share our sensations, like the reason that we do this and not, hey, what are you thinking, is that we want to be embodied, right? When we live in these bodies and we have to figure out how to be in them. And if we give voice to these sensations, we can just transmit like our pure sensations to other people about how it is for us without the judgment of, oh, I should feel this way, or we can just say, oh, it feels like this, has this sensation or texture or whatever. And then I'm like, oh, I feel that. I feel that. I know what it feels like to have that electric energy, the like nervousness and the tension in my belly. I know what that feels like. And maybe I call it something different than you call it, or maybe not, right? But then we're syncing up our limbic system. We're sharing in community.
Can I say something?
Thank you. Yeah, Claudine, say something.
You can hear me again?
I can hear you.
I had the same experience as Christina at the beginning, that the moment I closed my eyes, there was all this buzzing, nervous energy, and it was like, wow, I can't believe, like, this has actually been with me for a while, and I'm really feeling it. And the space you're holding, it somehow guided me to feel safe and relaxed. And as I relaxed with it, like, oh, this can be here, and how interesting, I'm so worried about not enough. And I started to feel how much enoughness and fullness as it started to settle. And there's the cooling that happened. It's still happening. I feel cool, and it's a process. I was trying to stick very close to the one word in that moment, but I wanted to affirm anybody else here that this energy that feels so uncomfortable because I'm not being with it as much as I could be. So, yeah, thank you.
What we resist persists. That idea of like, oh, I don't want to feel uncomfortable. I don't want to feel nervous, tension, and so it sticks around because feeling it is how our limbic system processes it. It's how our bodies process it. So if you're resisting, it's like pushing away, you're pushing away a feeling. And then as soon as you start to feel it, it can shift. It's very interesting. It's so interesting to me about how it works. Thank you for that. And the other thing, I'm going to put you on mute because I'm going to talk for a second. The other thing about this is the feeling, where you put your intention matters, right? And this is the beginning of money, what I think of as money magic, or money mindset, which is a lot of us, we do this thing where we're like, okay, I'm going to do a ritual about having more magic, or I'm going to do some intention, or I'm going to write my intentions down, or I'm going to write my, my desires and my statements down, right? And we spend an hour doing that, or, and then and we're like, oh, we created this beautiful magic and this beautiful mindset, and oh, it's, it feels so good. And then we proceed to spend the next 12 hours worrying about it, or the next 3 weeks worrying about it, right? And I just want you to consider this idea, if every act is a magical act, then what you're doing is you're spending this much time, right, doing your magic, and this much time acting against your magic, right? Acting against your intention. So I just want to remind you that your intention, and your attention is very powerful, right? And you want to start putting your intention towards what it is that you want. And then when these other things come up, you want to feel them and metabolize them. And by metabolize, I literally, what happens when you eat a food, right? You eat it, you get the energy from it, and it literally turns into something else, right? And there's some of it that you let go of, and some of it that you after you metabolize it, it belongs to you. It literally, it becomes you, you become it, right? So just consider, what does it mean to metabolize all of these feelings, and this upset, and the overwhelm, and the scarcity? What does it mean to metabolize that, right? And not continue to put your intention and your attention on this thing that feels so terrible, but to literally use it as fuel for the journey. And we talk about this more in the financial alchemy class. And we're going to go into it in great detail in the upcoming year-long class that right now is called Turned On Business Accelerator. But then we're doing a much longer, what is scarcity? What is your scarcity blueprint? Where did that come from? And then transforming that into the financial bliss blueprint. So that's going to be our year-long class that starts a few weeks after this class. But meanwhile, sort of giving you money magic 101, right? Money mindset. Some people talk about money mindset or money magic. They're very related ideas, but you want to be looking at, how are you metabolizing those feelings of upset, overwhelm, difficulty? How do you do that? And it's okay if you don't have the answer in this moment, but that's what I want you to be thinking about as these things are coming up, right? And the first step to that is really feeling it and noticing that that's what's happening. So thank you, Claudine, for that. And Seneca and Jesse, I encourage you to put your video on if you're in a place where you can have video, so we can see you and get all connected. Who else wants to share? Let's take a couple more check-ins. Look, there's a Jesse creature. Seneca, do you want to share? You unmuted yourself.
Oh, yeah, I did. I thought you were inviting someone else to share first. And I apologize, my video slows down my computer too much, so I apologize for not being able to show up with my face.
I'm glad you're here.
I have me too. And it's really nice to see everybody else's face. Maybe I'll join at the very end just to say hi. Let's see, I have this interesting, it almost feels like there's like a cycle happening of what feels a little bit like water. So it's like this fluidness, but it's warm, and it's kind of cycling from forward from my back. So kind of up through my head and then back down the front of my body. And it's kind of warm and swishy, and very kind of lava-like fluid, kind of thicker than water feeling.
Is it related to the candy cane feeling from yesterday?
That's interesting. A little bit. Yeah, it does. It feels actually like the candy cane sensation was stuck, and this feels like it's moving. Yeah.
Nice. Does it have a color?
Oh, that's a great question. I'm influenced by the fact that I'm in the sun, so it feels like it's kind of lava colored, warmish, orangish red.
That's how it feels to me too. There is that kind of dark black blue color
somewhere in there too that is like also in fire. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Makes me want to dance a little bit.
Yeah, it's funny when you start talking about it and I'm like moving my body. I'm like, oh, it definitely feels like a movement to me. And it feels like I want to use the word delicious, but what it feels like is like there's a warmth, there's a movement, like a connection to movement and to liquidity. Yeah. Thank you for sharing. It was a very powerful transmission. Does anyone else want to share? Laura! Hi!
I can share. Hi.
Yay!
I was feeling like when we were doing the meditation, the energy that was like coming out of me into the stars in the universe was like spreading out from there, from like somewhere above me, which was really amazing and powerful, and like a very kind of powerful visual, I think.
Mm. And what is the sensation of that? Do you have like sensation words like temperature or color?
I think it's like the I don't know if temperature or color, but there's like a like I'm starting to in my life like tap into this like centered groundedness, and so I keep kind of coming back to that. So the feeling is kind of like that feeling in the pit of your stomach, but not the bad feeling in the pit of your stomach, like the feeling in the pit, like the feeling in the kind of very depths of your stomach, but that is a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how to explain it besides that, but
I have the sensation that I get is a dark, like a darkness, like a richness, and it's like sometimes it appears like a rich sort of loamy soil, but like there's a darkness, there's a but it doesn't move a lot, but it's not stuck either. There's like a
like a
almost like a molasses feeling
to it. Yeah. Sure. Yeah.
That's how I receive it when you say it. And I got this image of when you're talking about the stars, there's like this whiteness. There's a bright white sort of star.
Yeah, it's kind of like a laser rays shooting out from all the directions from a central column of light, kind of.
Yeah. It's amazing. It's amazing how that happens, right? That especially when we get into the sensation level, we can just like transmit that to other people. Mm-hmm. And the cool thing is we totally can transmit it. So when I have talked before on other classes about this book, A General Theory of Love. If you're interested in this sort of how things get transmitted between people with and without words, it really talks about like limbic system resonance. And it's a large part of the reason that I have moved away from doing one-to-one work to focusing on this community money mindset work and practical money work, because it's really like there's so much that happens between us. And one of the pieces of scarcity is that scarcity lives in culture, and it's transmitted in culture. It's actually transmitted between us. And so one of the ways that we heal it is between us. So one of the visions that I'm holding is of a community of people where the transmission is of whatever we're going to call that, love, abundance. Hey, look, there's a Neville cat. And transmitting that between humans. Hi, you have to get down now. I know. I chased him under the bed to try to get him out earlier. He just, the thing is, this cat, like more than any other creature I've had, just really loves to be on camera. He's like, every time I get on a Zoom meeting and he's like, hello. So there's your Neville moment. So he's clearly gets some kind of transmission too from me doing this work, because he's always like, hi. But there's a transition that happens between us. There's all kinds of things. There's hormones. There's there's hormones that you can actually smell that are like in the air, but there's all of this stuff that happens between us, even if we aren't in the same place. So I'm holding this vision of community where we are transmitting love and abundance and like wholeness around money, but not just money, the exchange that we have, the exchanges between people that feel full and in their wholeness. So that's why we're doing this work in community instead of me just trying to do this work individually. So thank you for showing up and playing here and being the seeds of transforming scarcity. It's very exciting. Isn't that exciting? Getting to have that seed planted inside of you. There's so much, there's so much I want to say. But we have some work that we need to do today. And the piece of work that I want to make sure it gets done today is work around accountability and accountability buddies. So I'm going to talk about what that is for a minute. And then we're going to get you actually connected. For folks that don't have accountability buddies, we're going to get you connected up and get you into practice. So the accountability practice here, the idea is that you're doing this class so that you can accomplish something, right? So that you can move your relationship with money forward. In this case, specifically so that you can get more clear about your money, right? So I was just reading, let me see if I can pull up this note. It was phrased so beautifully. The American Society of Training and Development did a study on accountability that found the following statistics. The probability of completing a goal, if you have an idea or a goal, 10%. If you consciously decide that you will do it, about 25%. You decide when you will do it, it ups to 40% of people accomplish their goals. If you plan how you will do it, it gets about half, 50%. If you can commit to someone that you will do it, it jumps again to 65%. You tell someone, that's why people have all these goals on Facebook. But if you have a specific accountability appointment with a person that you've committed to, 95% of people will accomplish that goal, right? So my intention has been to create a container where we can actually be moving things forward. So this work around accountability is to get you someone that you can commit to and show up with every day, 5 days a week in this class. And the first time somebody said, you should, commit to accountability 5 days a week, I was like, you're insane. That's legitimately a thing that I'm not ever going to do. Of course, now I have an accountability call that I do every single day and have done for 3 years. But, my initial reaction was absolutely not. What I have found is it is totally true that showing up and having to say to someone, I did this or I did not do this, makes a difference in whether or not I will accomplish it. Because some days I'm just like, God, I'm going to do this thing just so I don't have to say it tomorrow that I didn't do the thing, right? So I'm offering you a container to do this in. An accountability partnership does not have to take a long time. This is not you guys getting and coaching each other. This is really, you say the one thing that you're going to do today, and by the second day, you'll say whether or not you did the thing from the day before, right? You say, this is what I committed to yesterday. Yes, I did it. No, I didn't. This is what I'm committing to today, right? So it can literally take 5 minutes or 7 minutes a day.
We're good. We got her.
Hi, Elizabeth. I'm muting you. You unmuted yourself accidentally. So that's the practice that I want to offer you, right? And I'm not trying to force you to do anything. What I want to do is offer you the possibility of having the results that you're talking about wanting and creating a tighter container for you. Is that something that you're interested? If it is, will you just put your hand up? Yes, 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 yes. Great. Okay. Excellent. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to unmute you in just a minute. Before I do, what we're going to do is we're going to find a way to, the idea is to connect each of you. Let's see, do we have 2 4s? We might need somebody to jump on a Facebook group and get someone. I know that Carrie, who she keeps copying on at 11. I know that Carrie also is looking for an accountability buddy, and Carrie is in Michigan. So she's I think everybody here is West Coast, but she's in Michigan, and so she's a couple hours ahead. So we'll put Carrie in the mix. So when I unmute you, we're going to figure out how to get you guys into accountability partnership. And what I want you to think about is, if you were going to put on a call, a 5-day-a-week, 5 to 7 minute call, what time of day would be optimum for you, right? What would be the best time? Oh, Claudine and Elizabeth are already partners. That's great. Okay. So think about what time of day would really work for you, and like, see if you can put a number on it, and maybe get, maybe you're like 8 a.m. is the time, or 3 p.m. is the time. It doesn't matter. But if you give us sort of a sense, that's a great way to kind of connect you. And then if we don't manage to find connection for one person, I'll connect you with Carrie. She is an amazing, super powerful witch. Seneca and Laura that's great. It's already happening. Okay. This is fantastic. Good job, guys. Yay. Okay. So pick your time. If you don't already have someone, pick your time, and we'll unmute everybody, and you can say what would work. And make sure to tell us what, we are all West Coast folks. Okay. So Jesse and Christina, Claudine, you already have someone. Deborah, let's see. Is it just the 4 of you that need 3, 4? Anybody else need a accountability partner? Okay. So Christina and Deborah and Jesse, let's get you connected. And then one of you will connect with Christy or with Carrie.
I'm down to, I would be happy to connect with Carrie.
You'd be, okay, great. Christina, does 8:45 or 9 a.m. work? Oh, look, there's Carrie. Carrie, do you,
Yeah, morning.
Deborah wants to be accountability partners with you. Can you guys find a time? Does that work?
Yeah. Hi, Deborah.
Oh, okay, good.
Wait, so Carrie and Deborah, and then Christina and Jesse. Does that work? Yes?
Oh, wait. Am I with Deborah or Jesse? Sorry.
Jesse.
Okay.
We're
Okay.
going to put Carrie and Deborah.
Bye.
Okay, so are you all in the Facebook group?
No.
No. Okay.
No.
I thought we added you. I thought we just added you, Christina. Who's not in the Facebook group? Christina. Let me make a note so we get you all in there.
To be honest, I'm not sure. I'm in a group, or I'm in several groups with you, but I'm not sure if I'm in the group.
I will check and see. Who else? Is everybody else in there?
I'm kind of in that same limbo. Am I in the group?
Okay. I will check, and I'll have Peyton. So for those of you who don't know, I have an assistant called Peyton who's actually in person with me these days. And so if you hear from someone called Peyton, she's really fabulous, and she'll help get you settled. But Jesse, I know that you are. So Christina and Deborah and Carrie will check within a few minutes of the end of this call just to make sure. And we are all friends on Facebook, so I'll just add you without your permission.
Okay.
If you're not sitting in the queue.
Right on.
Yeah? Okay. And that's a good way for you guys to get connected on Facebook and exchange information and set up your call times. Okay. And then if something happens, and it doesn't matter what, the times don't work out, you hate each other, things light on fire when you speak to each other, anything, it doesn't matter. Big, little, like literally it doesn't matter. Let us know if it doesn't work out. Like, your accountability buddy misses the call every single morning and you just need someone else. It's actually all fine. I don't even need a reason. We'll find you someone else. Okay? I don't want this to go awry just because the first connection doesn't work. Okay? So the other thing I want to do is give you permission to keep the container really tight. You don't have to give each other advice, coaching, anything like that. This is really just like 5 to 7 minutes. You can, if you want to support each other in a bigger, deeper way, you are welcome to do that. But I want you to use that agreement that we have around consent, right? I want you to ask for that. And if you're not available for that, say no. And if you are available, say yes. But I want you to use all of your words. I want you to say, hey, I feel stuck about getting this done. Can you help? Right? Or, hey, do you have any insight about this? And then the other person can say yes or no, right? And both of those are fine. And you don't need a reason to say no, and you don't need a reason to say yes. And if your accountability buddy is not the person who can support you around whatever the thing is, whatever the stuckness is, go over to the Facebook group and post and be like, hey, I need some help, right? And here's a little secret. If you go over the Facebook group and you post and you're like, hey, I need some help, you can also then in a comment, not in the post, but in a comment, tag people and say, hey, do any of you want to help me? Because often Facebook doesn't necessarily show you posts and whatever. You often have to go in and specifically look. But if you start tagging people, they'll get notification of your asking. Okay? So I want you to make sure that you have all the support that you need. And so I'm giving you a couple of ways to do that. Do you have any questions about that? Yes.
So
Laura.
is the plan to set up a call at that certain time? I'm assuming you're going to talk about that a little bit more.
Yeah. So the way that it works is you get with your accountability buddy, you set up a time. Literally, you're like, okay, let's have our call at 8:45 a.m. And the other person says, yes, that works for me. You make sure you have each other's phone numbers. And then you say, am I going to call you? Or are you going to call me? Right? And you can trade off. You can do it however you want. But you have to speak the agreement out loud and say, okay, every morning at 9 a.m. I'm going to call you. Right? Or every morning at 9 a.m. you're going to call me. Or the first week I'm going to call you, and the second week you're going to call me. The details are not as important as making sure that you have said something. Right? And then if for some reason you can't make a call, you have to let your partner know so that they can get other support and make other plans.
Okay. And then there's a framework for what we're talking about on the call, or?
Yes. So the framework should be posted, and I will check and make sure that I actually have an accountability buddy, a whole PDF about how to do it. But essentially what it looks like is you say, hi, and the other person says, hi, and you say, this is our accountability call. I'll go first. I was supposed to do this yesterday. I did it or I didn't do it. I am committing to doing this today. How about you? And then they say, okay, I either did or didn't. And then I'm committing to this. And then you say, thank you. And then you say, goodbye.
Okay.
It's real simple. And if you want support, you can ask, but you got to jump in there and do it.
Okay.
Right? And remember that your accountability buddy can say yes or they can say no. And then it's totally fine either way. And that yes or no shouldn't stop you from asking. Make sense? Anybody freaked out about doing this?
But there's not an expectation of okay, so you didn't do it, so let's work through what the things are that meant that you didn't do it. Okay.
If you didn't do it and you find yourself particularly stuck, those are great things to bring to these calls. Is to show up and be like, okay, we're stuck. We have a question. We're stuck. Right? That is a totally fine thing to do. It's also great to post in the Facebook group and just be like, okay, stuck. Somebody help. Right? Either one of you or both of you can post in the Facebook group. And that's a great time to start tagging people in the comments and say, hey, do you have ideas about this? And Peyton and I are both in the Facebook group. So we should, we can see what's happening and you can tag us, ask us questions. Helpful? More questions? Okay, somebody is typing. Very loud. Yeah, Christina.
No, I was typing. You said somebody's typing. Sorry.
Thank you. Okay. Any more questions?
I have a question.
Okay, Claudine.
So for the commitment we're making, it needs to be financially related or business related?
Good question. The idea is that you're making a commitment around the work that you're doing around money. If you find that you are all you've done all the things and you want to make business commitments, you're welcome to do that. If you find that there's some business thing that's in the way of getting your financial stuff done, you can speak to that. Any of those are fine. But for the next, 3 weeks, basically, right? I want you to maintain your commitment around your money, and then you can add more things if you've completed all of those things. Does that make sense?
And so the things are like the things that you send in the emails.
The things that I send in the emails, or anything else that you need to be working on around money. It is, for example, tax season. Is there something that you know that needs to get done? Right? Like on the free play Wednesdays, you get the email that's like, okay, so what are you going to do today? And it's a good question. What are you going to do today? Do you need to get your taxes done? Do you need to get your, download all your statements? Do you need to find stuff? Is there someone you need to reach out to? You just identify the thing that you need to do. One thing.
And do you have a checklist of things that are outside those emails that are good things to think about? Or
I do have I have a checklist for the emails, both our process and the emails. And if you guys are ready for that, I can send you the checklist. I was going to wait till the end, but I have it. I can send it to you. Okay. And then are you asking me for a checklist, like a year-end close checklist?
no, it's just more asking for ideas of what the things are that I'm doing every day.
Oh, so I'll send you the Financial Clarity Now checklist.
Okay, perfect.
I was going to send them at the end because then you get the things one at a time, but I'll send them now if you want them. More questions? Any other questions?
So what day on Financial Clarity are we actually supposed to be on?
Today is you should get day 7 today.
Okay. So I think I missed day 1 through 6.
Me too.
Are you not getting emails?
Nope.
You're not getting emails. Okay, so you have to email me and with the right email address, because every single one of you is actually in getting the emails in my system.
Huh.
So either we're getting them to the wrong email address. And so email me, Brianna@blissyourmoney.com. And Peyton and I will check right after this call. We will check and make sure that everybody gets theirs between like 1 and 2 o'clock to make sure that anything. And when we send these checklists, it will give you a list of all of the like 1 through 20 emails. So you'll have a list of them all. The other place that you can get them is in the client portal, clients.blissyourmoney.com. And that portal was down yesterday, and we were just looking. Let me see if it's
client at Bliss Your Money.
Clients here. It looks like it's okay now. Here. It doesn't necessarily need the www. But you should all have login information. Oh, it's slow. Oh, but it is up. So you should be able to get in there. And if you don't, like I said, right away, right now, send me an email. If you're like, I haven't been getting any of these emails, and put your email address in the body of the email so that I know exactly where to send them to, and I will check on everyone who sends me email.
Is there like a group password?
Everybody gets their own password.
Oh, okay. And was that emailed to me?
It should be, and it should come with your membership logon. So if you didn't get it for some reason, and Carrie, you should have got one with a Financial Alchemy, so you should have one already. But if you go to clients.blissyourmoney.com and put your email address in there, it does the whole thing where it will send you your password.
Okay, cool.
So send all of that. Send me email if you're not getting in so I can make sure that you get this information. And we will send the PDFs. I will make sure that the accountability PDF is in the Facebook group, which I think it already is. We will send a checklist out to you by the end of the week, but I'm sure it will go out today, tomorrow. And we'll make sure that Christina and Deborah and Carrie are all in the Facebook group. And anyone else that emails me will get on it right away. But you need to email me with the email that it goes to, because I've already checked, and every one of you should be getting email. So let me know if you're not. All right. Oh, Christina, any question?
I'm sorry. When we're on the clients Bliss Your Money thing, where am I supposed to enter my email address?
So if you go to clients.blissyourmoney.com, it'll take you to a login screen.
Okay, I'm not seeing. Oh, well, I get what do you want to do today with like 5 different options?
Yeah.
Financial clarity now. So sometimes it does that. It's a little weird. Here, let me show you my screen.
And then we enter our username, and is there a blank like some kind of a password we're supposed to enter until we set up our own or something?
You should have login in your email. Like I said, if you don't have that login,
okay,
email me and I'll make sure that you get it.
Got it. Okay.
Try sharing my screen to show you what it looks like. This one? No, that's not it. Huh. It's doing a weird screen sharing thing. Maybe I cannot show you. Okay. That is Safari. Okay, so email me if you're having some problems. So I want to spend the last like 12 minutes or 15 minutes that we have on here not dealing with, you guys reach out to me and Peyton probably Peyton will get back to you and solve any of these login issues and any of the Facebook issues and any of the email issues, and we'll keep working on it till we get it done and you get all the emails. Okay? So I want to take a breath with me. So now everybody has an accountability buddy, which is fantastic. And Laura asked, what day did we decide that we are on? Today is day 7. And the emails usually arrive like in the morning, like at 9 a.m. or 8 a.m. Yeah. And so if you didn't get one today, it should have gone out already. So you would know. And it should say in brackets FCN. So you should know that you're getting those. All right. So I want to ask you, in terms of the content, in terms of the actions that you're taking around money, how's it going? Do you have any questions or any support that you need around that? Christina.
Yeah, in general, I'm just feeling like a lot of resistance.
Say more about that. That's fantastic. Say more about resistance.
Oh, last week, I wasn't able to make the first call, but on the second call, we were talking about doing the money date, and I had all these grand plans about the money date, and I was just, every single time I thought like, okay, I'm going to sit down and totally work on this stuff now. I found every freaking distraction I possibly could to do. My house is really clean.
Congratulations.
I found 85 other distractions to do besides that. And it was like, oh, well, I don't have time right now. I'll put it off until tomorrow. And I put it off, and then it's today.
And now it's today. It's been a whole week. Good job. Okay. So procrastination. I sometimes give this talk that's called The Exciting Benefits of Procrastination. So procrastination tells you exactly where to look to show you what's in the way of getting the thing done, right? And it's very exciting because we're often like, oh, I don't know why I'm getting it done, not getting it done. I don't know why this thing is happening. But you know why. You're having resistance, and instead of doing the thing, you're using that energy to clean your house. Did you put money dates on your calendar?
I did.
Good job. So that part's working. So what happens?
Bye.
Okay. So I'm going to say the thing here, which is the money dates. So remember we talked last week about that money dates are the core of work with money is about creating trust with yourself. Do you remember that? Okay. So when we put things on the calendar and we don't do them, what we're doing is we're breaking trust with ourselves.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. So here's the thing that happens. Do you remember we were talking, for those of you who weren't on the call last week, we did a money dates, sacred money dates call, and you can listen to that, and it should be in the portal, and I sent links. The links are in the Facebook group. So whether you can get into the portal or not, you can still get to that recording. That's in the Facebook group. So we were talking about that your relationship with money, like looking at it like a long-term relationship, right? And if you make dates with your sweetheart and you were like, oh, shrug, I'd rather clean the house. Eventually your sweetheart would be like, look, bitch, right? And it wouldn't go that well. They would eventually be like, I'm out, right?
Yeah.
So, but we make dates with ourselves and break them all the time, right? We're like, oh, I'm just not going to go to the Y this morning at the gym. I'm just like, and what's happening is you're degrading your relationship with yourself. So my question for you is there a particular piece of this that feels like it's too much? Like sometimes there is, sometimes there isn't, but is there a particular, like, I don't want to X?
I guess I feel a little overwhelmed because I'm not sure where to start.
Great.
I actually had somebody, so I had my desk was looking really crazy with like piles of receipts that needed sorting through and all this stuff. And, and I've been working on everything with you, like getting set up with like the hub doc and shoebox and all that stuff. And I talked to shoebox to set up an account to send them like a crap ton of receipts and get it all set up. So then actually hired somebody to come in and organize my desk. And she made all these neat little piles of stuff on my dining room table that I need to file. Mm-hmm. And that I've just been like looking at my dining room table now instead of looking at my desk and freaking out. Now I'm looking at my dining room table and freaking out, even though everything is in like these organized little, files that just need me to pull out a manila envelope and label it. But paperwork just gives me so much agita.
Okay.
My grandmother would say.
So the paperwork is outside of your area of expertise. So here's another thing to know. I encourage you to get this stuff off your plate as fast as you can, right? The reason that you get into business was not to do filing and paperwork. It was not probably to set up QuickBooks and do it, right? Like that's not the reason that you got into this. You got into doing whatever your business is, right? To do catering, right? To do this work around food. And so what you're doing is you're working outside of your zone of genius. So that it creates all of this resistance. You're like, oh, I really don't want to do this. So my question to you is, can you have that same organizer come in and actually pull out the manila envelope and do that for you?
Yeah, totally. Actually have her coming back next week.
Great.
So yeah,
Awesome.
I totally can.
So consider that handled, right? Like that's not on your to-do list anymore. That's going to go to this organizer. Okay. So what's next?
Then I guess for the most part, I have like my financial stuff kind of automated. Like I've got everything on bill pay and whatnot. But I guess for me right now, like the sort of resistance that I'm feeling is around a lot of things because I'm also working on my business plan and so I'm going through like financials and projections and startup costs and all this stuff. And so I'm looking at like kind of a big scope of a lot of money things and I'm feeling like super overwhelmed by the whole process. And I do have I have business advisors that I'm working with. But I feel like maybe I need to reach out a little more and have somebody kind of hold my hand through the process a little more because approaching it on my own, I've got my business plan I'm working on. Like I go through and have meetings with them and talk about stuff.
So I'm going to stop you right there. So
yeah, I'm going off track, aren't I? Sorry.
Well, you already gave me the solution.
Okay.
What did you say? Do you remember?
To reach out and get somebody to be a little more hands-on with me.
Yeah. So it sounds like what you're doing is there's all of this stuff that needs to get done and you resist sitting down to have a money date because you don't know where to start. Like there's all of this stuff that's going on and you're kind of taking on all of it all at one time.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
What I find, I talk about my book, it's this rituals for planning dream book thing.
Oh yeah. Actually.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Just having a place to kind of, when you sit down to do your money dates, the whole point of those worksheets is to give you a space to figure out what you're doing, right? You cannot get everything done in an hour. The truth is you probably can't get everything done even if you spend a whole day working on it, right? So you want to take some time and create some space for you to really think and plan, what is the most important thing for me to be doing today or right now, right? About my money or about my business. And the reason I recommend this book is because one of the things that it does, it's a bigger, longer process than, a day or whatever, but it has you look at, okay, so what are your 1 year goals? And then it has you break them down by month, right? Because one of the problems that I know that I have is that I'm like, everything needs to be done right now. All of my marketing needs to be done. All this stuff needs to be done. Right? Mm-hmm. Carrie's totally getting with me, right? And we can't do it all at one time. It is not humanly, physically possible. Even if you have a team of 1 million, everything cannot get done right now. It just doesn't work like that. And so part of this is slowing down, creating realistic timelines. So creating realistic timelines and then doubling them and just slowing down, right? And today, the reason we break it down into one thing a day is that's how many things we can really do, right? So when you sit down to do your money date, you're not trying to do everything and organize everything. You're just going to do one thing.
Okay.
Right? And so for you, I really encourage you and anyone who's having this to start small and just be like, okay, I'm going to have a money date and I'm going to have a half an hour where I fill out this form and maybe that's all I do. Right? You just want to move some small thing forward and then stop. Because when we get to the point where like, oh, I've been sitting here for 4 or 5 hours and I'm totally overwhelmed and I have a headache, what that does is it decreases your ability to come back and do it again. Right?
Okay.
This is why on Fridays I'm like, celebrate, right? This is why at the end of that worksheet I'm like, okay, what went well? Celebrate. You want to make it feel good so that your brain will let you do it again. If it feels terrible, your brain will be like, nope. Right?
Yeah, no.
Hold on just a minute, Jesse. Does that make sense, Christina?
Yeah, totally. Yeah,
okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Yes, Jesse.
Question was just what's that book called?
This book? This book is called, let's see, I'll get it. Rituals for a Living Dream Book. I really like this book. It is not the only book that works, but it does do a lot of the things that I do with my private clients. I was delighted to find this. Like, it goes through your values and it helps you create visions of the different pieces of your life. And then but the thing to know is you do this process over like days or weeks, right? This is not like, this kind of process is not a process. I think it took me 3 or 4 weeks to actually do the first section of this. And I did it while I was still writing down my to-dos. I still have shit to do, but the planning process, it takes time for us to metabolize what we're going to do for the next year, right? You have to sit with it and think about it and write about it and come back to it. And, there's this, for a lot of us, have a very feminine planning style, right? We're just like, thing and more thing. And then I come back to it. And is this still what I want? And so it's a great process, but give yourself time to do it. Yeah, Carrie put the link in there. Does that help? Do you have any other questions, Jesse?
It's amazing that Christina and I are partners because we're both chefs.
I know. I was thinking about that too.
That's really funny.
And I don't have any piles of paper at all.
So,
Yeah.
I can't relate to her at all, so it'll be good.
8,000 little receipts.
I don't have any.
I think you guys you're going to make beautiful food together, and we're all going to come and celebrate with you at the end of this.
So that would be good.
And Carrie says, I like it a lot. She's talking about the book, but in the beginning, it's an overwhelming amount of work in the beginning. That's why I was saying it took me, I think, 3 or 4 weeks to kind of set it all up, working on it, an hour or something at a time, and then coming back to it. It is also, if you're going to do it, a great thing to do on your sacred money dates, is to just spend some time looking and planning and thinking. I find that most entrepreneurs spend a lot of time doing and not a lot of time planning, and that lack of planning does weird things, like it squishes your timeline because you miss steps and things in the middle, right? And it doesn't give you the space to do things like take vacations and have downtime and all that stuff. So I'm trying to get, one of the things I want is for us to kind of back off the immediacy of everything has to happen right now. Okay. This is pretty good. Jesse, do you have something else?
Gotta go.
What?
That's me waving goodbye.
So we're at the top of the hour, and these calls are designed to be an hour. Do you have, so the last thing I like to do on these calls is to have some gratitude. So I'm going to unmute everybody, and then you just say one thing that you're grateful for, and we'll head out on our day. Okay. What are you grateful for? And I'll be last.
I'm grateful to have Jesse as my new accountability partner.
I'm grateful to be a chef.
Nice.
I'm grateful for my community.
Thank you, Laura.
I'm grateful for Neville and his entertainment. Neville the kitty.
Neville. Thank you.
I'm grateful to reconnect with Carrie again, and I'm also super grateful. There were a couple pieces that I heard today that were just needed to hear. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm grateful sorry. I'm grateful for the transmission that I feel I'm receiving around the connection to money dates, and how this connection to money and honey, our sexuality of worthiness. I really am feeling that strongly from the beginning of our call. So thank you.
Thank you. And Carrie?
I am also grateful to reconnect with Deborah, and I am grateful for, feel like this class is helping me create a better container around stuff. Yeah. So that's where I am.
Thank you. Awesome. Thank you, everyone. I come to the end of these calls and I have the same or nearly the same gratitude every time, which is I'm just super grateful to be able to do this and get to share all of the things and research that I've been doing for so long with you, and get to be in community with people who are changing the relationship with money. This is I believe that this is world-changing work, and I am so grateful to get to have you all show up in community with me. And I will see you all next Tuesday at 12 noon and in the Facebook group. I will see you there. All right, bye, everyone. Have a great week.
Bye. Thank you.
You too. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye, partner.
Bye.